All right, now we're going to be looking at Carvana stock, which is probably the best call I've made in the market. It first hit my radar back when it was down at $4 a share. It was down 96%. And since then, I've tracked it and watched it go all the way up to current price, which has been pretty exciting. So as you see right now, it closed at 169.64. As previous, it's going to bounce between support and resistance until it can break through one of the other ones. Looks like it's going to eclipse 176 and then break 180, which brings a nice range into play, the range of 180 a share to 240 a share. So there's definitely some good meat on the bone. As you can see, where it was way back there, it was pretty low. So on the support resistance, it's looking pretty good. On the MACD, this picture is pulled from yesterday. I wasn't able to get a current one today, but on the MACD, as you see, it crossed the trailing line, so it's on another trajectory upwards till it cools off a little bit, probably trends back down, compresses a bit, and then continues its upward climb. This has been the most peculiar stock I've ever seen. It was bull flagging. This was me highlighting, as you can see, back when it was under $50 a share. It put up a very nice bull flag, and as you see, it spiked after that bull flag that it puts up. So two favorite patterns that I really like to see in the market is either a cup and handle pattern or a bull flag pattern. This one had a bull flag pattern and a cup and handle. Now this is a bit older, but back at the time, as you see, over 100% of the stock is held by institutions and 36% were short, which is effectively a short trap. It's what you've seen take place with GameStop a couple years ago when GameStop did its crazy price swings. You can't hold more than 100% of something, but the way they do that is through synthetic shares and through futures contracts, making it possible, which then becomes a short trap. The famous movie The Big Short, the most famous case was the Volkswagen squeeze back around 2008. So this one was set up very nicely. Over here I've got some old screenshots of when I started tracking it. This was probably the most peculiar pattern I've ever seen. I labeled it Santa's ladder pattern because basically every morning you would see big money, which is represented by this awful little stick figure here. They would throw all their weight at it to lower the stock price, and then they would accumulate, rise up, sell, throw all their weight back down, and it's basically an accumulation pattern to keep getting more and more shares. This pattern was very prevalent from about $8 a share all the way up to about 40, and I haven't seen that price stop since. As you see back in February, that's when I said the Santa's ladder is forming again. They drop the price of the basement, step up to the landing, drop off a bag, which means secure some profits, and then head back down for some more. This was them building it at the end of the day. So as you see, I pretty much just look at the MACDs and for the support and resistance. So been following this one for quite a while with the RSI index and some other indicators, but as you see, this has been a very good stock for me. It's been given gains, and I still believe that it is going to go to 240 and possibly a little bit higher based on the ranges and all the technical indicators that I do see. So there's quite a bit going on there with that. It's been, like I said, a very good stock. Once it hits 180, it's going to move up to 220, 240 range and possibly even go a little bit higher. Insiders have been recently selling some shares to lock in some profits, but this one has been a heck of a ride. Like I said, it first popped on my radar when it hit certain criteria that I look for. So I always look for good companies that are down 60, 70, 80%. In this particular case, this was down 96%. A little tidbit on Carvana, they also bought one of the 3 largest vehicle auction sites in the United States. So At the time, they were looking at some bankruptcy woes, which I didn't believe that they were going to file bankruptcy just because they had so much inventory and they owned one of the largest auction sites. So if they got into tough times, they could literally auction off all their cars for pennies on the dollar, drop the market, buy all those back, and their stock would shoot up. This one looked like I happened to be right, and it continued to spike up, and it's going to continue its upward pattern. So Carvana is definitely still on my radar. I'm not currently holding any shares or any call contracts yet. I'm waiting for a few other plays in the market to develop, and then I would love to dip back into this because I firmly believe that this one still has plenty of room to run and still has plenty of meat on the bone.